إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Today is the introduction of the book from the Etiquettes of the Student of Knowledge and the Reality of the Pseudo Scholar and Studies. This book was compiled by me, Abul Bara Muhammad Amriki, and is from the works of Shaykh Dr. Salih bin Fawzan bin Abdullahi al-Fawzan Hafidhullah, who is from the major scholars of Saudi. So in this particular book, which is going to be a reading or a daily reading, we're going to discuss from the different content of the book. Today I want to discuss more why did I compile this book and how did I compile this book. So this particular book that you see in front of me, so if you look at the title of the book, From the Etiquettes of the Student of Knowledge and the Reality of the Pseudo Scholar and Studies. So this particular book has two titles, which is two books. The first book is From the Etiquettes of the Student of Knowledge, which is from a particular lecture from Shaykh Dr. Salih Fawzan, and I took two of his lectures with the same title. One of them I completely translated it, and I took some nabda, yani expert from his other lecture on the same topic, things that were not mentioned in the other lecture, like related to time and time management related to seeking knowledge. The second title, The Reality of the Pseudo Scholar and Studies, is actually from Yani Muqalat, Wal Bayan, Wa Fatawa. They are from different articles, different statements, different lectures, different little talks, and different fatwa and Q&A, which is Q&A basically, on related to Yani Haqiqatul Muta'allimin wa Ta'alam, right? The reality of what we could consider to be the pseudo scholar, somebody who is not qualified or on qualifications, and what is actually ta'allam, right? The act of ta'allam, pretending, meaning to seek knowledge the wrong way. So I took from those particular aspects from the writing of the Shaykh, and may Allah reward him, and I put it into a book format, right? So I actually read it from the back cover of the book, from the concise yet comprehensive book in front of you is from the lectures and writings, fatwa and audio from Shaykh Dr. Salih bin Fawzan bin Abdullahi al-Fawzan, related to the etiquette and ethics of seeking knowledge. The first part of the book is from the Etiquettes of the Student of Knowledge, from a lecture of the Shaykh. It is short and detailed on each subject and its importance from the Sharia law. The Shaykh expertly connects with his audience and emphasizes the importance of acquiring knowledge. The second part of the book, The Reality of the Pseudo Scholar and Studies, from Shaykh Dr. Salih bin Fawzan bin Abdullahi al-Fawzan, experts taken from lectures, writings, and fatwa about the dire harm of unqualified methods of learning pseudo studies and unqualified individuals, pseudo scholars teaching Muslims, due to the nuance of Islam in the West, such as Islam being new, and many Muslims cannot tell the difference between a real alim, Shaykh, and what is the qualification of a scholar in Islam. Many take those who are not qualified as scholars of Islam when they are not, based on appearance. This book aims to educate Muslims about the importance of seeking knowledge in Islam and who are scholars in Islam based on qualifications and who are not scholars. The next particular reason why I translated and compiled this particular book from this Shaykh, it's related to some of the things that we see in America related to what is a scholar? What are the etiquettes of seeking knowledge? Who do you take knowledge from? There are a number of different books on the etiquettes of seeking knowledge, classic books and writings. One of the decent books that many people read is Hilya Talab al-Ilm by Shaykh Bakr Abu Zayd, rahimahullah, which is an excellent book. There are older and classic books also, and writings and statements, and I will always recommend Muslims to read that or read those particular books because it's a little bit more insight into the etiquettes of seeking knowledge, how to sit with the Shaykh, what do you do, what you don't do. This particular book right here that I have, or that I have compiled, it's not talking about these particular things. It is actually from Shaykh Salih al-Fawzan, hafidhullah, one of his concise talks. So these are his lectures that are actually short, concise, on the topic of the etiquette of the student of knowledge. Talks about subject matters, why it's important to study Arabic language, why it's important to study hadith, why it's important to study fiqh, right? Why it's important to study usul fiqh, why it's important to study tafsir, why it's important to study usul tafsir, and what are each subject's connection to each other, correct? And who do you take the knowledge from? This is a very important topic, and it's in the concise. And I believe that this particular book from Shaykh Fawzan also address some of the issues that we find from Muslims today is actually, who do you take this knowledge from? Do you take it from any layman person? Who's a scholar in Islam? What is a scholar in Islam? And the Shaykh, Dr. Salih Fawzan, hafidhullah, may Allah preserve him, he has his stance with taking knowledge from authentic scholars, authentic people, authentic alim, and not just any layman person or a person who didn't study religion correctly, or it's unknown how they study religion, that you do not take knowledge from these individuals due to its harm. And this is not only the statement of Shaykh Salih Fawzan, hafidhullah, but this go back, yani ulama al-qadama. This goes back to the ulama of the past who have these statements and writings, and you will find in their books, in their statements, inside their books, like Imam al-Nawawi, rahimahullah, have a lot of writings and sayings on this particular issue. So this is something that I wanted to touch, and why I chose Shaykh Fawzan work. And he's from some of the major scholars of today that's still alive, have a lot of insight and knowledge, and his particular style with this particular lectures and writings is straight to the point. It's one thing I like about Shaykh Fawzan, hafidhullah, he's have a way to being straight to the point where what he's saying is very beneficial. Even though it's short or straight to the point, it's very beneficial, and it has a impact. What he's saying, it has an impact, or it has, we say, meat to it, right? It has meat to it. So this is why I chose the Shaykh's work, and I'm familiar with a lot of his writings, and I actually translate and read a lot of his books on and on when I listen to a lot of his works. And I find that he is somebody that's easy for people to grasp what he is saying, and you have a lot of insight. There's other books, there are other writings, but this particular book, this is how I address why I chose this particular book, because the Shaykh has a smooth way, easy way of speaking, and that's gets straight to the point, where everything he's saying is very beneficial in it. And his particular lecture on this topic is very much concise, and I find for today many people cannot take long drawn out lectures type talking and books. I compiled this particular book just for those individuals who can't take the long drawn out books and writings. So I chose Shaykh Fawzan because he is straight to the point, and his particular lecture on these topics are actually concise and straight to the point. Now, where can this book be found? This book can be definitely found on Amazon platform. The book is actually two formats of the book. I have it hardback, which is a hardback copy. Some people like to read hardback books. And I have paperback. So the hardback book It goes around the price of about $21, and the paperback book goes for around $13. If you look up the title of the book, you can find it on Amazon, but I would definitely add the description on where you could purchase the book in the description of this video. So the first section you will find is the translator introduction. And then we will go and look at the bio of Shaykh Fawzan Hafidullah, a short bio. So book 1, and then we have the first chapter, which is the introduction. At chapter 2, knowledge and action, the inheritors of the prophets. Chapter 3, the importance of Islamic sciences and scholars. Chapter 4, enter knowledge through the front door. Chapter 5, patience from despair. Chapter 6, token of knowledge after death. Chapter 7, Aqidah first after the Quran. Chapter 8, acquiring knowledge, save oneself from all types of fitna. Chapter 9, the student of knowledge, not wasting time while seeking knowledge. Chapter 10, the Islamic jurisprudence issues. Within it is a different variety of opinions. And then we have the lesson based on establishing evidence from the various opinions. Then we have book 2, right? The second book, the reality of the pseudo scholars and studies. So book 2 dealing with translator introduction. The next section is pretending to have knowledge and its grave effect on the nation. From the book of clarifications of mistakes in some books, response and miscellaneous statements, third part. Taking knowledge from only books, resemble the Khawarij, an expert from a lecture title, important directions for the nation's youth. The charlatan Shaykh, pseudo scholar, versus the authentic Shaykh. Questions and answers, the seeker of legislated knowledge. Terms and footnotes related to that particular section. The person who wants to seek knowledge but has no scholar in his country, city, or area. Questions and answers, what is suitable for the beginner in seeking knowledge that he can understand the deen? What are the best methods of reading books and to learn Islamic knowledge? Seeking knowledge, expert from Sharh Sunnah of Imam Babahari. Beware of the muta'allimun, the unqualified pseudo-scholars, and the juhal, ignoramuses. Questions and answers, youth are fascinated with pseudo-scholars, fake sheikhs, unqualified personality. Is it okay to sit with a sheikh who learned from books only? The individuals who are tasked with teaching people but learn their knowledge from audio and books without learning from scholars. Advice for social media users and platforms. The fallouts and criticism between students of knowledge on social media. Those who think criticizing individuals is part of seeking knowledge. What mutun in the Arabic language will help understand hadith sciences. Question and answers. Should the student of knowledge memorize first Bulughul Maram or Ummatul Adkham? Students of knowledge differing calls to break off into groups and sects. No such thing as backbiting for the sake of Allah. What books are recommended to start? Students at the Islamic University taking knowledge from the internet without scholars. Tafsir of verse. Those who fear Allah the most from his slaves are the ulama. Question and answer. Seeking knowledge from Ahlul Bidah and reading the books of Bidah. Bonus. Sheikh Dr. Salih al-Fawzan, 7 questions and answers about backbiting and spying in the name of al-Jar wa Ta'dil in our present time common misunderstandings.